Imagine for a moment that your life is a sacred space, your mind, your heart, and your energy, each one a precious treasure. Now imagine walking into this space, carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents someone who drains your energy, friends who gossip, partners who belittle you, colleagues who undermine you, people who subtly or openly feed off your light but never give back. These stones weigh you down slowly, silently, and almost imperceptibly. Day after day, carrying these stones, you begin to feel exhausted, distracted, and disconnected from your own potential. Many women believe that loyalty means carrying everyone's weight, even when it is hurting them. They tell themselves, I must be patient, I must endure, I must tolerate this behavior because they are family, friends, or colleagues. But let me tell you something essential. Loyalty to people who drain your energy is not strength, it is suffering disguised as virtue. True strength is not enduring depletion. True strength is protecting your energy, honoring your space, and choosing who and what deserves to reside there. Now, you might ask, but what if letting go feels selfish? Let me make this clear. It is not selfish to protect your energy. It is wise, it is necessary. Think of energy as a form of currency. You can spend it freely, but only once. If you invest it in people who consume without giving, you impoverish yourself. If you invest it in people who uplift, support, and inspire you, your wealth, your spiritual and emotional wealth, grows exponentially. Letting go of energy-draining people is not about cutting everyone off or cultivating arrogance. It is about discernment. It is about awareness. It is about recognizing who truly contributes to your growth and who diminishes it. Life is short, and the path of a woman who wants to be unstoppable is already demanding enough without carrying unnecessary burdens. When you release these people, something magical happens. First, you notice a shift in your energy. Your thoughts become clearer, your emotions stabilize, your creativity flows more freely. You can focus on your dreams, your goals, and your higher purpose without constant interruptions from negativity. Second, you attract people who resonate with your frequency, people who inspire you, who challenge you constructively, who celebrate your victories genuinely, and who remind you of your worth. Letting go also requires courage. There will be moments when your heart resists, when memories or obligations make you hesitate, when guilt whispers, "Are you doing the right thing?" Here is the truth. The right thing is what preserves your energy, your peace, and your path forward. You do not owe anyone a place in your life that compromises your growth. Unstoppable women operate with a profound understanding. Every interaction is an exchange of energy. They do not allow negativity, criticism, or toxicity to linger because they know it directly impacts their power. Every person who once drained them becomes a teacher, a mirror, reflecting lessons of boundaries, strength, and clarity. They do not dwell in resentment or anger. They simply release, and in the release, they reclaim their power. Let me give you a practical approach. Identify 3 people in your life whose presence consistently leaves you feeling tired, anxious, or unworthy. Observe how much time, energy, and attention you give them. Ask yourself, does this person add value, inspire me, and help me grow? If the answer is no, begin to step back, set boundaries, limit contact, and if necessary, let go completely. This is not easy, and it is not meant to be easy. Growth rarely is, but every woman who wants to rise, to thrive, and to become truly unstoppable must understand that her energy is her most precious resource. Protect it, prioritize it, elevate it. Remember this, letting go does not mean hatred, bitterness, or revenge. It is a conscious choice to invest in yourself. It is a declaration that your life, your peace, and your potential are non-negotiable. And when you walk this path, free from energy-draining people, you begin to radiate an unstoppable force, a force that is calm, confident, and unshakable, because it is rooted in self-respect, wisdom, and clarity. Your life is your responsibility. Your energy is your power. And the moment you let go of those who drain it, you step into a version of yourself that is free, focused, and truly unstoppable. This is not merely a change in relationships, it is a transformation in consciousness, a liberation of your spirit, and a declaration that your journey is sacred and it will not be compromised. The path to becoming unstoppable is not paved with more effort, but with the shedding of unnecessary burdens. The first and perhaps most insidious of these burdens is the weight of perfectionism. From a young age, we are taught to strive for an unattainable ideal. We are shown images of flawless beauty, told stories of effortless success, and given examples of women who seem to do it all with a smile. This is the lie of the flawless image. It's a fantasy, a carefully curated illusion, designed to make us feel perpetually inadequate. The truth is, behind every polished exterior, there is effort, struggle, and a messiness that is rarely seen. Yet we compare our raw, unfiltered lives to their highlight reels, and we find ourselves wanting. This comparison is not only unfair, it's a profound act of self-sabotage. It robs us of our joy and convinces us that we are not yet ready, not yet good enough. This pursuit of perfection leads to the paralysis of analysis. We become so afraid of making a mistake that we never take a step. We spend hours agonizing over a decision, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect outcome. We write and rewrite, edit and re-edit until our work loses its vitality. We overthink conversations, rehearse arguments, and analyze every potential pitfall until the opportunity passes us by. This isn't preparation. It's a form of self-imprisonment. It's a quiet, insidious form of fear that masquerades as diligence. The truth is, the most successful people are not the ones who make the fewest mistakes. They are the ones who make the most mistakes, but do so quickly. They learn, they adapt, and they move on. The fear of failure is a heavier burden than failure itself. The antidote to this is to find freedom in imperfection. You must give yourself permission to be human, to be messy, to fail, to try and to not succeed, to speak without the perfect words, to create without the perfect plan. There is a profound beauty in the unpolished, the unfinished, the flawed. In Japan, there is a concept called wabi-sabi, which celebrates the beauty in imperfection and impermanence. It is the wisdom that a chipped teacup is more beautiful than a pristine one because it tells a story. Your life is not a perfect teacup from a factory. It is a unique, handcrafted piece, with cracks and scars that tell the story of your journey. Embracing the wabi-sabi of life means understanding that your imperfections are not flaws, they are the very things that make you beautiful and unique. They are the proof that you have lived. To become unstoppable, you must choose action over flawless intention. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for all the lights to be green. Start now, from where you are, with what you have. The first step is rarely the perfect one. It is simply a step. It is messy, it is uncertain, and it is almost guaranteed to be wrong in some way. But it is also the beginning of momentum. And momentum is the only thing that will carry you forward. When you release the need to be perfect, you release a tremendous amount of energy that you can now use to create, to innovate, to explore, and to live. You stop being an observer paralyzed by analysis, and you become a doer, a creator, a force of nature. Your greatest strength is not your perfection, it is your courage to act despite your imperfections. We live in a world that constantly asks us to look outside ourselves for a measure of our worth. We seek approval from our parents, our partners, our friends, and now from complete strangers on the internet. This is a journey to the empty well of others' opinions. No matter how much you receive, it will never be enough. It is a fleeting, unreliable source of nourishment. One day you will be praised, and the next you will be criticized. Your value will be subject to the whims of others' moods, their own insecurities, and their ever-changing standards. When you place your sense of self-worth in the hands of others, you are giving them the power to make you feel good or to make you feel worthless. This is a power you must reclaim. This need for validation often manifests as a deep-seated habit of people-pleasing. We say yes when we want to say no. We take on tasks that drain our energy and serve no purpose other than to make others happy. We hide our true opinions and our authentic selves to avoid conflict. This is not kindness, it is a form of self-betrayal. When you constantly put others' needs before your own, you are not only neglecting yourself, you are also training others to see you as a resource to be used, rather than a person to be respected. The resentment that builds from this is a heavy, bitter poison that will eventually corrode your soul. Your need to be liked will become a prison built of your own compromises. To become unstoppable, you must start reclaiming your internal compass. You must learn to trust your own instincts, to listen to your own voice, and to honor your own needs. Your intuition is a powerful, reliable guide, but it has been drowned out by the noise of external opinions. You must learn to quiet the outside world and listen to the wisdom within. This is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-trust. It is the belief that you know what is best for you and that you have the right to make choices that serve your own well-being. This reclamation of your internal compass will naturally lead to the power of a solid no. A no to a request is often a yes to yourself. It is a declaration of your boundaries and a statement of your priorities. It will be uncomfortable at first. You may face resistance or even disapproval, but the peace and the energy you gain from protecting your time and your space will be worth it. A no is not an act of aggression. It is an act of self-care. It is a statement that says, I respect myself and my limits. When you let go of the need for external validation, you are becoming your own anchor. You are no longer tossed about by the changing tides of others' opinions. You are grounded in a deep, unwavering sense of self-worth. Your value is not determined by your successes or your failures, by your looks or your accomplishments. It is an inherent, unchangeable part of who you are. This is a profound, liberating truth. When you no longer need the world to tell you that you are enough, you are free to truly live. You can take risks, make mistakes, and pursue your dreams without the constant fear of what others might think. You are no longer performing for an audience. You are simply being, and in that being you are a powerful, unstoppable force. We live in a world that constantly asks us to look outside ourselves for a measure of our worth. We seek approval from our parents, our partners, our friends, and now from complete strangers on the internet. This is a journey to the empty well of others' opinions. No matter how much you receive, it will never be enough. It is a fleeting, unreliable source of nourishment. One day you will be praised, and the next you will be criticized. Your value will be subject to the whims of others' moods, their own insecurities, and their ever-changing standards. When you place your sense of self-worth in the hands of others, you are giving them the power to make you feel good or to make you feel worthless. This is a power you must reclaim. This need for validation often manifests as a deep-seated habit of people-pleasing. We say yes when we want to say no. We take on tasks that drain our energy and serve no purpose other than to make others happy. We hide our true opinions and our authentic selves to avoid conflict. This is not kindness, it is a form of self-betrayal. When you constantly put others' needs before your own, you are not only neglecting yourself, you are also training others to see you as a resource to be used, rather than a person to be respected. The resentment that builds from this is a heavy, bitter poison that will eventually corrode your soul. Your need to be liked will become a prison built of your own compromises. To become unstoppable, you must start reclaiming your internal compass. You must learn to trust your own instincts, to listen to your own voice, and to honor your own needs. Your intuition is a powerful, reliable guide, but it has been drowned out by the noise of external opinions. You must learn to quiet the outside world and listen to the wisdom within. This is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-trust. It is the belief that you know what is best for you and that you have the right to make choices that serve your own well-being. This reclamation of your internal compass will naturally lead to the power of a solid no. A no to a request is often a yes to yourself. It is a declaration of your boundaries and a statement of your priorities. It will be uncomfortable at first. You may face resistance or even disapproval, but the peace and the energy you gain from protecting your time and your space will be worth it. A no is not an act of aggression. It is an act of self-care. It is a statement that says, I respect myself and my limits. When you let go of the need for external validation, you are becoming your own anchor. You are no longer tossed about by the changing tides of others' opinions. You are grounded in a deep, unwavering sense of self-worth. Your value is not determined by your successes or your failures, by your looks or your accomplishments. It is an inherent, unchangeable part of who you are. This is a profound, liberating truth. When you no longer need the world to tell you that you are enough, you are free to truly live. You can take risks, make mistakes, and pursue your dreams without the constant fear of what others might think. You are no longer performing for an audience, you are simply being, and in that being, you are a powerful, unstoppable force. Fear. It is a word we all know too well, yet it is so often invisible, creeping quietly into our lives, shaping decisions, and silently limiting our potential. Fear does not announce itself with a loud voice. It whispers in the quiet moments when you hesitate to follow your dreams, when you pause before making a bold choice, when you allow doubt to dictate your actions. It says, you are not ready, what if you fail? What if they judge you? And in those whispers it builds invisible walls around your mind, your heart, and your possibilities. Every woman has faced fear. Fear of rejection, fear of criticism, fear of not being enough. But let me tell you something essential. Fear is natural. It is human. It is not the enemy. What makes fear dangerous is when we let it control us, when we allow it to dictate our choices, when we build our lives around avoiding discomfort instead of pursuing growth. To become unstoppable, a woman must learn to let go of fear of failure. She must understand that failure is not a dead end. It is a teacher, a guide, a stepping stone to mastery. Every great woman in history, every leader, every innovator, every trailblazer, none of them achieved greatness without confronting the possibility of failure. What separated them was not luck or talent, it was courage. Courage to take action despite uncertainty, courage to rise after falling, courage to embrace the unknown with faith in themselves. Letting go of fear does not mean being reckless. It does not mean ignoring consequences or abandoning preparation. It means transforming your relationship with fear. Instead of asking, what if I fail? You ask, what will I learn if I try? Instead of shrinking away from challenges, you approach them with curiosity, resilience, and determination. Fear becomes a compass, not a cage. Consider for a moment the times you have let fear dictate your actions. Think about the opportunities you didn't take, the dreams you postponed, the conversations you avoided. Each moment may have seemed small, but cumulatively, fear can create a life half-lived, a potential unfulfilled. Yet, the remarkable truth is that fear loses its power the moment you confront it consciously. The moment you step forward despite fear, you reclaim your freedom, your energy, and your destiny. One of the most profound ways to release fear is to shift your perspective on failure. Failure is not humiliation. It is not a verdict of inadequacy. Failure is feedback. It is information that guides your growth. Every failed attempt, every setback, every mistake is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and become stronger. The unstoppable woman does not avoid failure. She engages with it, studies it, and uses it to elevate herself. Letting go of fear also means letting go of the opinions of others. Many women fear failure because they worry about judgment. What will people think if I don't succeed? They ask. Let me tell you this clearly, the opinions of others are temporary, fleeting, and external. Your life is yours to live, your path yours to walk. When you tie your actions to external validation, fear gains strength. When you anchor your choices in self-belief and purpose, fear begins to dissolve. Practical steps to release fear of failure start with awareness. Recognize the specific fears holding you back. Name them, write them down. Observe how they affect your thoughts, decisions, and actions. Then, consciously decide to act despite them. Take one small step, another step, and another. Courage is built incrementally. The unstoppable woman moves forward, not in the absence of fear but in the presence of it. She uses fear as fuel, transforming it into momentum. Meditation, visualization, and mindfulness are powerful allies in this process. Visualize yourself stepping boldly into a situation you fear. See yourself succeeding, learning, and growing. Feel the energy of confidence, resilience, and clarity. Then, carry that energy into your real actions. The mind cannot distinguish between practiced visualization and lived experience. It trains itself to respond with courage and clarity. It is also essential to cultivate a supportive environment. Surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and uplift you. Share your goals with those who celebrate effort, not just outcome. Distance yourself from voices that amplify doubt or project fear. Remember, energy is contagious, and the company you keep will influence your courage, mindset, and trajectory. Letting go of fear transforms your relationship with life itself. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities. You stop shrinking in the face of challenges. You approach life with curiosity, resilience, and a sense of adventure. Every action becomes intentional, every decision empowered, every risk a calculated step toward your higher purpose. The unstoppable woman understands that fear is temporary, but regret is lasting. She chooses action over inaction. She chooses growth over comfort. She chooses courage over hesitation. And in doing so, she inspires others to do the same. Her energy becomes magnetic. Her presence becomes undeniable. Her life becomes unstoppable. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear, it is mastery over it. Fear may visit you, but it will no longer control you. You will walk forward, step by step, choice by choice, creating a life of boldness, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. Let this be your declaration: I will no longer let fear dictate my choices. I will no longer shrink from opportunity. I will step forward with courage, resilience, and faith in my own potential. I will embrace failure as a teacher, not a jailer. And through this practice, I will become unstoppable. From the moment we are born, society teaches us a subtle, invisible lesson. Your worth is determined by the opinions of others. Smile when praised, cry when criticized. Achieve to be admired, behave to be accepted. This conditioning is not inherently malicious, it is human, but it quietly creates a cage in which many women unknowingly trap themselves. Every day, we seek approval from parents, teachers, peers, partners, or even strangers. Every day, we measure our confidence, success, and happiness by the applause or lack thereof we receive. But let me tell you something essential. External validation is an illusion of security. It is temporary, inconsistent, and beyond your control. People's opinions fluctuate, their judgments shift, and their attention fades. If your happiness, your confidence, your identity depends on this, you are living on fragile ground. A woman who wants to be unstoppable must release this need. She must reclaim her power and place her sense of worth inside herself, where it cannot be manipulated or diminished. Letting go of validation begins with self-awareness. Ask yourself, how often do I act, not because it aligns with my values or my purpose, but because I want approval? How often do I adjust my voice, my choices, or my energy to please others? Awareness alone is transformative. It illuminates the subtle ways in which you surrender your power without realizing it. Once you recognize these patterns, you must take deliberate action. Start small. Practice making choices that align with your principles, even when others may disagree or disapprove. Speak your truths in conversations where previously you would have stayed silent. Wear what feels authentic, say what feels true, and pursue goals that resonate with your heart, regardless of what others think. Each time you honor yourself over external opinion, your confidence grows and the need for validation diminishes. The unstoppable woman understands the difference between constructive feedback and the opinions that do not serve her growth. Feedback from mentors, trusted friends, and wise guides is a gift. Criticism rooted in judgment, envy, or insecurity of others is a distraction. By letting go of the latter, she conserves her energy and sharpens her focus on what truly matters. Consider the societal pressure women face in almost every aspect of life: how they look, how they speak, how they behave, and how they succeed. These pressures are subtle, persistent, and often internalized. Yet the moment a woman decides her worth is inherent, independent, and non-negotiable, she frees herself. She no longer needs validation for her beauty, her intellect, her accomplishments, or her choices. Her internal compass guides her, and she walks confidently, regardless of applause or criticism. One of the most powerful strategies to release this need is reflection. Spend time alone, away from social media, away from constant comparison. Observe your thoughts, your desires, your fears. Ask yourself, am I seeking approval from others, or am I acting from my truth? Meditation, journaling, and self-inquiry are powerful tools for reconnecting with your internal authority. The more you trust yourself, the less the world can sway you. Another transformative practice is celebrating yourself. Recognize your achievements, however small, without waiting for someone else to notice. Honor your resilience, your creativity, your discipline, and your courage. By becoming your own source of validation, you create an unshakable foundation for your confidence. This does not mean arrogance, it means sovereignty. It means no longer handing your power to others and learning to thrive independently. Letting go of validation also changes the way you relate to others. You no longer people please, you no longer chase approval or manipulate situations to gain favor. Instead, you operate from authenticity. This authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to it, opportunities appear organically, relationships deepen, and your influence grows. You stop wasting energy on seeking affirmation and redirect it to actions that matter, actions that shape your destiny. The journey is not instantaneous. Old habits of seeking approval are deeply ingrained. There will be moments of doubt, moments when you instinctively look for recognition, moments when fear whispers, "Do they like me?" When this happens, pause, breathe, remind yourself your worth is inherent. Your value does not require permission. Each time you resist the urge for validation, you reinforce a mindset of independence and unstoppable power. Remember, validation can be addictive. The more you chase it, the more it controls you. The unstoppable woman frees herself from this addiction. She understands that her identity is her own, her decisions are her own, and her confidence arises from her alignment with truth and purpose. This liberation is not merely emotional, it is practical. By detaching from approval, she gains clarity, decisiveness, and focus, qualities essential for achieving extraordinary goals. Finally, let go of the fear that letting go of validation will isolate you. True connection is never dependent on approval. When you operate from authenticity, the right people resonate with your energy, and your relationships become deeper, more honest, and more fulfilling. The world does not need you to shrink to fit in. It needs you to rise fully, freely, and fearlessly. Let this be your declaration. I am enough. My worth is inherent. My choices reflect my truth, not the opinions of others. I release the need for validation, and in doing so, I unlock my energy, my clarity, and my power. I become unstoppable because I honor myself first. I become unstoppable because I no longer allow the judgments of others to dictate my path. When you let go of the need for external validation, a profound transformation occurs. Your confidence becomes unshakable, your purpose becomes clear, and your energy becomes magnetic. You no longer react to the world, you create your life with intention. You step into a space of unstoppable influence, unstoppable courage, and unstoppable freedom. And in this space, you realize something extraordinary. The moment you stop seeking approval, you begin to live your life fully, powerfully, and unapologetically. Our lives are marked by moments of deep hurt and profound betrayal. We carry these wounds like heavy stones, and they weigh us down, slowing our progress and darkening our vision. The third burden you must release is the grip of past wounds and betrayals. We often hold on to these hurts because we believe that by doing so, we are somehow punishing the person who wronged us. We believe that our anger and our pain are a form of justice. This is a dangerous illusion. This is the illusion of a fair outcome. Life is not fair, and holding on to a past injustice in the hope that it will be rectified in the future is a futile exercise. The person who hurt you has likely moved on, and your bitterness is a poison that affects only you. Holding on to past hurt is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It is the weight of resentment. Resentment is a heavy, corrosive emotion that saps your energy and narrows your perspective. It keeps you living in the past, replaying the scenes of your pain and rehearsing the arguments you never had. It is a constant reminder of what you lost, what you were denied, and what was taken from you. It makes you cynical and distrustful, and it prevents you from opening your heart to new people and new experiences. This is not a state of being for someone who wants to be unstoppable. An unstoppable force is one that is not chained to the past. The way to release this burden is through the true purpose of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about condoning the actions of others. It is not about telling them that everything is okay. It is a profound act of self-love. Forgiveness is the act of releasing yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. It is a gift you give to yourself. By forgiving, you are saying, I am not going to let your past actions continue to poison my heart. I am setting myself free. Forgiveness is not about them, it is about you. It is the final act of letting go. It is the key that unlocks the prison you have built for yourself. When you practice forgiveness, you are breaking the cycle of bitterness. Bitterness makes you small. It makes you closed off. It makes you a victim of your own history. But when you release it, you create space for something new. You create space for joy, for love, for peace. This is not an easy process. It takes courage and it takes practice. It is not a single act, but a daily choice to let go of the past and to choose a future that is unburdened by resentment. Finally, you must use your past pain as a source of wisdom. Your past wounds are not weaknesses. They are a profound source of knowledge and a testament to your resilience. They have taught you what to look out for, what your boundaries are, and how strong you truly are. Your pain is a teacher. It is a guide that can help you avoid similar pitfalls in the future and to cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships. The pain you have endured is a part of your story, but it does not have to be the end of your story. It is simply a chapter that has prepared you for the greatness that lies ahead. An unstoppable woman is not someone who has never been hurt. She is someone who has been hurt, but has used her pain to fuel her fire, not to extinguish it. For many of us, the greatest obstacle to our own greatness is a hidden fear. It is not a fear of failure, but a fear of success. It is a fear of the unfamiliar power that we know lies within us. We are told to be successful, to achieve, to be ambitious, but when we actually approach the edge of our own potential, a deep-seated fear can surface. This is the comfort of the familiar cage. We are more comfortable with the known, even if the known is mediocre, than with the unknown, even if the unknown is magnificent. We have built a life that is safe and predictable, and we are terrified of shaking its foundations. This fear of the unknown is a cage of our own making, a self-imposed limitation that keeps us from our true potential. We tell ourselves we are not ready, not qualified, not worthy. This fear often manifests as the shame of ambition. We are taught to be humble, to not be too much. We worry that our ambition will make us unlikable, or that our success will make others feel uncomfortable. We are told that powerful women are cold or lonely or difficult. These are lies designed to keep us small. There is no shame in having a big dream. There is no shame in wanting to achieve great things. Your ambition is not a flaw. It is a gift. It is the voice of your soul urging you to become the person you were always meant to be. To become unstoppable, you must shed this shame and embrace your drive with courage and conviction. This fear and shame often lead to releasing self-sabotage. We create unconscious patterns that prevent us from reaching our goals. We procrastinate, we make excuses, we engage in negative self-talk, and we create drama in our lives to distract ourselves from our true work. We do this because it is easier to fail on our own terms than to face the terrifying possibility of success. But this self-sabotage is a slow and painful form of self-betrayal. It is a rejection of your own potential. To become unstoppable, you must recognize these patterns and choose to break them. You must treat yourself with the same kindness and respect that you would show a dear friend who was struggling. The path forward requires you to begin honoring your inner voice, the voice of your intuition, the whispers of your heart, the nudges of your soul. These are your truest guides. For too long, you have been listening to the voices of others, to the expectations of society, to the fears of your own mind. It is time to turn inward, to listen to what your heart truly desires, to honor the person you know deep down you are meant to be. This is a journey of authenticity. It is the courage to be yourself, fully and completely, without apology. Finally, you must commit to living your purpose, unapologetically. Your purpose is not a grand, singular destiny. It is the daily commitment to do the work that brings you joy, to live in alignment with your values, and to use your unique gifts to make a difference in the world. When you are living your purpose, your energy is not scattered, it is focused. Your passion is not a fleeting emotion, it is an enduring fire. And your power is not something you have to seek, it is something that flows naturally from within. An unstoppable woman is not someone who is trying to be great. She is someone who has let go of all the things that held her back, and in doing so has simply allowed her own greatness to shine through. Regret, guilt. These two emotions are some of the heaviest burdens a woman can carry. They are like invisible chains that tether her to a past she cannot change, keeping her from fully stepping into her power. Many women carry regrets about choices they made, opportunities they missed, words they said or didn't say, and mistakes that continue to haunt their thoughts. Guilt often creeps in quietly, whispering, "You should have done better, you should have been different, you have failed." And in these whispers, a subtle but relentless erosion of energy and confidence occurs. But here is the truth. The past is immutable. You cannot rewrite what has already happened. What is done, and while regret and guilt may feel like a form of accountability, more often than not, They are forms of unnecessary suffering. They are chains disguised as conscience. To become unstoppable, a woman must release these weights, not ignore responsibility, but transform it. She must recognize that regret and guilt can either imprison her or teach her to rise higher. Letting go begins with perspective. Consider the moments you regret, reflect on the choices, the circumstances, the pressures, and the limitations that shaped your actions. Recognize that every decision you made at that time was based on the knowledge, emotions, and resources you had then. You did not have the wisdom you have now, and that is precisely why you grew. Every misstep is a teacher, every failure a lesson, and every regret a guidepost toward greater awareness. Guilt, like regret, often stems from internalized expectations of perfection, of selflessness, of responsibility for everyone else's happiness. Society teaches women to feel responsible for outcomes beyond their control, to carry burdens that are not theirs. But a woman who wants to be unstoppable understands a crucial truth. She is responsible for her actions, but she is not responsible for controlling the world, nor for the choices of others. Letting go of guilt is not about denial, it is about liberation. It is acknowledging mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward without self-punishment. One of the most powerful practices to release regret and guilt is forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and speak to yourself with compassion. I did the best I could with what I knew. I forgive myself. I release the past. Say it aloud if you must. Write it down. Repeat it daily. These words are not empty. They are transformative. They shift energy from stagnation to motion, from despair to empowerment, from limitation to possibility. Letting go also requires acceptance. Acceptance does not mean you are pleased with past mistakes. Acceptance means you recognize what happened, understand its role in shaping you, and allow yourself to move forward. When a woman accepts her past, she no longer carries invisible baggage into every decision, relationship, or challenge. She walks lighter, stronger, and with clarity of purpose. Visualize this. You are walking down a path. Behind you is a backpack filled with stones, each one representing regret or guilt. Each step is heavy, slow, and exhausting. Now imagine gently placing that backpack on the ground and walking forward, feeling the weight lift with each step. This is not a metaphor. It is a conscious choice. You can carry it, or you can release it. Unstoppable women release it. The energy once trapped in regret and guilt is immense. It can fuel fear, indecision, and self-doubt, but when redirected, it becomes energy for growth, creativity, and action. Every woman who chooses to release the past transforms her life. She approaches challenges with clarity, makes decisions with confidence, and engages with people and opportunities without the shadow of self-recrimination. It is also essential to understand the difference between reflection and rumination. Reflection is constructive. It allows you to learn, adjust, and grow. Rumination is destructive. It traps you in endless cycles of blame and sorrow. Letting go requires moving from rumination to reflection. Ask yourself, what have I learned? How can I act differently now? Then let go. Do not replay scenes endlessly. Do not punish yourself for what is gone. Your power is in the present. Your growth is in the now. Forgiving others can also be part of this process. Regret and guilt are sometimes tied to resentment, anger, or unresolved conflict with others. Unstoppable women do not carry grudges because they understand that holding on to resentment only binds their energy. Forgiveness is not for them, it is for you. It is a release, it is liberation. It is reclaiming the space inside yourself that belongs only to your growth and peace. Letting go of regret and guilt is not instantaneous. There will be moments when memories resurface, when shame creeps in, when the mind whispers old stories. When this happens, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I am not my past. My worth is not defined by mistakes. My potential is limitless, and my power is here. Now, repeat this affirmation. Feel it. Anchor yourself in the present. When a woman releases regret and guilt, something extraordinary happens. She stops living in the shadow of what could have been and begins to embrace what can be. Her confidence grows because it is no longer tethered to fear of judgment. Her creativity flows because it is no longer blocked by hesitation. Her relationships deepen because she interacts from a space of authenticity rather than obligation or compulsion. Let this be your declaration. I release the past. I forgive myself. I honor the lessons learned and let go of the pain. I walk forward unburdened, confident, and free. I will no longer allow regret or guilt to dictate my choices, my energy, or my life. And in this liberation, I step fully into my power. I step fully into my purpose. I step fully into being unstoppable. Unstoppable women understand this. The past is a teacher, not a jailer. Guilt is a message, not a sentence. Regret is feedback, not punishment. When you release these burdens, you open space for growth, freedom, clarity, and unstoppable energy. You transform your life from one weighed down by what was into one empowered by what is and one capable of creating what will be. The mind is a powerful force. It can create worlds, generate ideas, and manifest dreams, or it can confine, restrict, and limit the very life you deserve. Many women are unknowingly imprisoned by invisible barriers, beliefs about themselves that dictate what they can achieve, who they can become, and how far they can go. I am not good enough. I don't deserve success. This is too big for me. Others are better than me. These thoughts seem small, subtle, harmless, but in truth, they are the chains that hold women back from becoming unstoppable. Limiting beliefs are not truths. They are stories you have told yourself, often repeated so many times that you start to believe them. They are inherited from upbringing, culture, past experiences, and societal expectations. And while they may have once served a purpose, protecting you from risk, criticism, or disappointment, they no longer serve you in the pursuit of your full potential. The woman who wants to be unstoppable must identify these beliefs and release them step by step until the mind becomes an ally, not an obstacle. The first step in letting go of limiting beliefs is awareness. Notice the thoughts that arise when you face challenges. Listen to the inner dialogue that questions your capabilities. Observe the hesitation, doubt, and fear that accompany these beliefs. Awareness alone is transformative because it illuminates the chains that have been hidden in the shadows of your consciousness. Once you are aware, begin to question the validity of these beliefs. Ask yourself, is this really true? Who told me this? What evidence exists that proves the opposite? Most limiting beliefs crumble under scrutiny. I am not good enough becomes I have skills, I have value, and I can grow. I don't deserve success transforms into I am worthy and my purpose matters. Every belief you question, every story you rewrite, opens space for empowerment and freedom. Letting go of limiting beliefs requires action. Knowledge alone is not enough. You must challenge the beliefs through experience. If you think, I can't speak in public, speak anyway. If you think, I am not creative, create anyway. If you think, I will fail if I try, take small steps toward your goals anyway. Action rewires the mind, proving to yourself that these beliefs are not truths, they are assumptions waiting to be replaced by reality. Visualization and affirmation are also powerful tools. See yourself stepping into situations you once avoided. Hear yourself speaking with confidence, creating with mastery, and achieving goals you once thought impossible. Speak affirmations daily. I am capable. I am worthy. I am unstoppable. The mind cannot distinguish between repeated visualization and real experience. It begins to accept possibility as reality and limiting beliefs gradually dissolve. It is important to recognize the subtle ways limiting beliefs manifest. Sometimes they appear as perfectionism. I must do everything perfectly, or I am a failure. Sometimes they appear as comparison. Others are better, smarter, faster, stronger. Sometimes they appear as procrastination. I will start tomorrow because I am not ready today. Each of these patterns is a symptom of belief that you are not enough to become unstoppable. These patterns must be confronted, challenged, and replaced with empowering alternatives. The journey to letting go of limiting beliefs is not linear. Old habits die slowly, and the mind will resist change. There will be moments when doubt resurfaces, when fear returns, when the old story tries to reclaim its power. When this happens, pause, breathe, remind yourself, I am not my thoughts, I am not my doubts, I am capable, I am worthy, I am unstoppable. Repeat this until it becomes a reflex, a truth anchored deep within your consciousness. Letting go of limiting beliefs transforms every area of life. Your confidence grows because you no longer accept boundaries imposed by fear. Your decisions become decisive because they are guided by clarity rather than doubt. Your relationships deepen because you engage as a whole, authentic self. Your energy multiplies because it is no longer spent resisting the story that says you are not enough. Every successful woman you admire, every leader, innovator, and visionary has faced and released limiting beliefs. They too may have whispered, I cannot, I am not ready, I don't deserve this. What separated them was not talent alone, but the courage to confront, challenge, and replace those beliefs with empowering truths. And you too can do the same. Here is the final truth. The moment you release limiting beliefs, you unlock your full potential. You operate in a space without ceilings, without restrictions, without invisible walls. You see challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and possibilities as infinite. You step into a life where your energy, clarity, and focus are unstoppable. Let this be your declaration. I release every belief that limits me. I am capable of achieving greatness. I am worthy of success, happiness, and abundance. I am more than enough. I step into my power with confidence, courage, and clarity. I am unstoppable. The woman who lets go of limiting beliefs transforms from someone who merely dreams into someone who acts, from someone who hesitates into someone who conquers, from someone who doubts into someone who radiates unstoppable energy. This is not magic, it is mindfulness, action, and choice, and it is the final key to unlocking a life of true freedom, purpose, and extraordinary power. We are taught that to be successful, we must control every variable, we must plan, we must strategize, and we must meticulously engineer our lives to ensure a specific outcome. But this is a heavy and ultimately futile burden. The fifth and final thing you must let go of to become unstoppable is the need to control the outcome. This is a profound and fundamental shift in mindset. The false sense of security in planning is a lie we tell ourselves to calm our fears. We believe that if we just plan enough, we can avoid failure, pain, or disappointment. But life is unpredictable, it is messy, and it is wild, and no amount of planning can ever truly prepare us for every twist and turn. When we become obsessed with the outcome, we miss the beauty of the journey. We are so focused on the destination that we fail to see the road, the scenery, and the lessons right in front of us. The antidote to this is the gift of radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is not about giving up, it is about acknowledging reality for what it is without judgment or resistance. It is the understanding that you can control your actions, your effort, and your intentions, but you cannot control the results. You cannot control what others will do or what the universe will bring. When you stop resisting what is, you free up a tremendous amount of energy. Instead of fighting against reality, you can now work with it. You can pivot, you can adapt, and you can respond to whatever comes your way with a calm and clear mind. This is true power. When you let go of the need for control, you can fully embrace the power of a single step. You don't need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. You just need to know what the next right thing to do is. Every great journey is made up of a series of small intentional steps. When you stop worrying about the final outcome, you can put all of your energy and focus into the present moment. You can be fully present in your work, in your relationships, and in your life. This presence is a source of immense power. It allows you to respond to opportunities as they arise and to solve problems as they appear. This trust in a single step leads to trusting the unfolding of the universe. This is not a passive act. It is a belief that your effort matters and that the universe will conspire to help you as long as you are doing your part. It is the understanding that some things are meant for you and some things are not, and that both are okay. It is the peace that comes from knowing that your path may not be a straight line, but that every twist and turn is a part of your unique and beautiful journey. This trust allows you to let go of fear and to lean into life with a sense of wonder and curiosity. Finally, you must let go of control to embrace the joy of the present. When you are always worried about the future, you can never truly be happy in the now. But when you are fully present, you can find joy in the smallest things. A beautiful sunset, a kind word, a moment of laughter. The joy of the present is not dependent on the outcome of your plans. It is a constant, renewable source of energy that fuels your journey. An unstoppable woman is not someone who has a perfect, controlled life. She is someone who is fully engaged in the beautiful, messy, unpredictable adventure of living. She has let go of her need for control, and in doing so, has become a force of nature. She flows with life, not against it, and in that flow she is truly unstoppable.